boy, it's cold. Look at this. Oh, maybe I got some counter-protests here. Here we go. This is not the counter-protests. These are protesters. I believe you're called furries on the internet.
Your channel's amazing.
Thank you very much.
You're going around Quebec and you say, hey, why I gotta wear a mask going to the store? That's not cool. That's not cool.
These things have always made me scary. There's a person in there.
There ain't no drama with this llama.
All right, thank you. Is that City Hall?
Oh my God, I'm not from around here.
Okay, awesome. Let's go see here. This looks like it might be the counter-protest. This could be. Let's see if they're. Okay, looks like there might be a counter-protest here. Am I gonna get hit by a car? No. Okay. So there looks like there's a flag that. Oh, okay. Hold on. People have banners. Let's see, people. Okay. There's a drone up there. And that's like a very fancy big drone. I don't know if you can see it. That's not a kitty drone. That's someone help me out. It's one of those. It's not the DJI Inspire. It's a real drone. That might have a camera on it. How you doing? So, honk if you can't get it up. I don't know what that means.
It's a joke about erectile dysfunction, you know. That's fine.
But hold on, if they honk, which way is that joke going? Okay, so no joke. Jokes aside, this is part of the counter-protest. If you have a mic and you want to explain what the nature of the counter-protest is, do you want to do it?
I just say that we're here for the 85% of people in this city who did their part to fight COVID. They did their part by social distancing, wearing masks, getting the vaccination. And when Ontario opens up, it's because of those people, not because of the people who stomped their feet.
What do you have to say to or about the people who don't think that they should be compelled to get vaccinated?
They have a choice.
Those
truckers had a choice.
What is that choice?
They could get the vaccine.
Okay.
Or they could just do the quarantine.
The quarantine whenever they become exposed.
No one was forced. They always have a choice.
Well, okay, now, serious question. If your choice is get the vax or be detained for however many days it is because you didn't, is that a choice or is that coercion?
That's a big reason why. So here's my take. I agree with you. We live in society. It gives us nice things. It could be community, it could be culture, it could be economic opportunity. The price we pay is our cooperation. You know, like we have to stop at red lights. Are you infringing on the freedoms? No.
Well, I
think the rules.
I would agree that stopping at a red light infringes on your freedom. But is there a distinction? Is there a line at which crossing that line for your freedoms is not acceptable? Like, where is the line where you have crossed over infringing on someone's freedom? Red light, fine. Seatbelt, fine. Forcing someone to
it's context specific.
Okay. Who decides then in any given specific context? And even a more scientific question is the quarantine period. What good if we now know that those who are vaccinated can and still do in fact carry the virus? What good does a quarantine on the unvaccinated do scientifically?
There's 19 unvaccinated people are 19 times more likely to end up in the hospital or ICU.
I won't agree with that, but even assuming I agree with that, that's on them, not on the vaccinated.
And we all pay for that critical infrastructure.
Okay, but then let me ask you this question. So are you a proponent then of telling heavy people to lose weight because they are more likely to go to the hospital and incur costs?
I think there's definitely ways we can incentivize those kinds of behaviors. Like, what about an alcohol and tobacco tax?
Yeah, well, That's on the product, but not on the healthcare service itself.
No, but the excise tax on that then goes to fund the critical public services.
Okay, arguably, but even still, that you're talking about a tax on the product as opposed to governing the behavior. So,
No, man, like if this goes on, I'm gonna have to start billing you full time, huh?
dude, what do you do for a living?
I'm a consultant.
I'm a lawyer. I charge more. All right, have a good one. All right, fair enough. Glad to be willing to talk.
Our city! Our city!
All right, would you be willing to express yourselves? No? Okay. Fire slowly, quickly. No, okay, so I don't think, it doesn't seem that a lot of people here want to discourse. Say it again? Oh, sorry, you're not talking about. Okay. So let's see, we got end hate. This gentleman might have a discourse. Would you have a discourse with me? Yeah. No? Okay, maybe not. Okay, no one's going to say I have not tried. I will try. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, this one says go away. 3 Ottawa truckers go home. Would you would not want to talk either?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay, sorry. So, okay, you're part of the counter-protest.
I am.
Okay, explain to the world what I'm doing the what again. What are you counter-protesting? What is the purpose of the counter-protest?
I have never protested in my life, but I am so appalled by the lack of action by all 3 levels of government. The occupation of Ottawa has to end. I live just outside the red zone. It's appalling. I cannot go to an office building. I can't shop. I can't go to church.
You can't shop. You can't go to an office building. You can't go to church. What do you have to say to the people who are protesting because they can't go to church, they can't go shopping, and they can't go to the office because of the government?
Get vaccinated and do what you can.
Okay, but now, if I may ask, could you recognize a certain inconsistency in telling someone that they have to do something with their body to do the things that you're complaining you can't do now because it's an inconvenience?
It's not an inconvenience, it's an occupation. I'm not telling them that they have to be vaccinated. I'm saying that if they want certain things, certain rights, then they have to be vaccinated.
If they want certain rights.
You can't drive a car without a seatbelt, without facing the consequences.
True.
You can't drive drunk without facing the consequences. If you don't want to be vaccinated, then you have to face the consequences.
Okay, but true. But putting a seatbelt over my shoulder is different than putting a medication in my body. You acknowledge that?
The rationale and the reason behind it is exactly the same. Public safety.
So how much of your body does the government get to own for purported public safety?
The government doesn't own any of my body. I follow scientific expertise and I follow government recommendations. I made the choice to be vaccinated. No one forced me. And the people who are unvaccinated, if they're in a car crash, they will go to a hospital and get x-rays. Well, I'm sorry, x-rays into your body, how is that different than a vaccination?
Well, I would say if the government forced me to get an x-ray, I would say it's not much different than the government forcing me to get vaccinated. Where's the limit? Like, where's the limit as to what the government can make you do to your body in order to be a part of society? Is there a limit?
Of course there's a limit. And we had an election not that long ago, and it was one of the main issues was vaccine mandates. And this democratically elected government in Ottawa was elected by the majority of the people. And the provinces all are democratically elected. If they're worried about vaccine mandates, they can talk to the provincial leaders. And they all say the same thing. Every single leader in the country is saying get vaccinated.
Well, no, I have no doubt every leader in the country who may have financial interests in pharmaceutical companies is saying the same thing. You're aware that the pharma companies have immunity for any negative consequences from the vaccine?
I have no knowledge of that.
So you do not know that as a condition for the pharma companies to provide this vaccine, they insisted on immunity from any negative consequences from it. Oh, well, it's true. Would that change your mind if you knew that? That they were immune from liability from any potential wrongdoing from the vaccine that they're putting into your body? Would that change your mind or cause you to think about something?
I am not a big fan of big pharma, but that doesn't mean that I would not use products that are life-saving.
True,
That's a different issue.
but you are also familiar with big pharma paying the biggest criminal penalties for concealing the fact that some of their big pharma products are killing people and they know it, but they want to conceal it to continue making profits.
Look at tobacco.
Yep.
Look at thalidomide. But the biggest thing that's killing people now, alcohol and opioids.
I agree with that. By the way,
That's not big pharma.
opioids. Well, opioids is big pharma, and that's killing more people. And that's killing more people, by and large, because of the lockdown measures and its impact on people. But okay, well, we made some progress. I think if you recognize you are suspicious of big pharma, you should ask some questions as to what's going on now. But at the very least, I can understand the noise is annoying, and protests typically are.
It's not annoying. It is torture. The United Nations says that sleep deprivation is torture.
Yep.
The people who live on Metcalfe Street have not been able to sleep for 7 nights.
Okay, but I've heard diverging stories as to whether or not they're honking their horns between 8 and 8. But speaking of United Nations, you're familiar with the Nuremberg Code as well, if we're going to cite international law?
I don't. Well, I know what Nuremberg is, but I don't know the code.
You might want to go look up the Nuremberg Code, but thank you very, very
Viva,
much.
Can I get
Thank
a
you.
picture with you?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I absolutely love you.
We just had a discussion with the Counter-Protestors.
I heard. Oh, thank you so much for all you do.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Hey, I'm glad some of them are talking. By the way, I am shivering.
That's a great picture. Yeah? Awesome.
Well, it's also in video in real time.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you need a coffee or something?
No, I'm good. It's my fingertips. I'm just going to get in the sun.
Hopefully someone's going to give you a hot pad again.
Yeah, thank you. Those turn my hands a very bizarre color. Okay, let's see here. Your tactics are bad, and you should feel bad. You don't want to talk? Okay, fine. Okay, now I'm just going to ask you this. I'm going to point this way. Did you guys support the BLM protests?
Not in person. I protested at home.
So you supported the BLM protests at home by donating to the protest? Okay, now I'm going to ask you the question. It's for food for thought. Do you find anything mutually incompatible, intellectually contradictory to support that protest and not this one? Say it again.
You think those two things are the same?
I
think one rally in Ottawa is the same as being down here for a week, fucking laying on the horns all the time? You think those are the same thing?
I think that, first of all, I don't think it was one day for any BLM protest. I would disagree on that.
I was here.
Yeah, we were all here, bud.
No. Well, hold on. But you support certain protests if it's lasts a certain period of time?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I support them if they're good, and I don't support them if they're bad.
Okay, so that's there we have the idea. That's the distinction.
Yeah.
And criminals. We don't support criminals.
Who are the criminals?
Well, people who are assaulting people.
Hold on. Who's assaulting people?
This crazy bunch of convoyers. They've
So
been
the
assaulting people. They've been harassing people. They've been pissing and shitting all over the.
So if I were to tell you, I spent 3 days looking for piss and shit and saw nothing. Would you believe me?
I would probably believe you because people would probably picked it up.
Okay.
You know, like neighbors, people who don't want that to sit on their front steps for 3 days.
Okay, I'll invite you.
Well, who are you with? Then?
I'm with me.
With what?
I'm alone. I'm just coming up to see, I heard about the piss and shit, and I came and I looked for it, and I saw none of it. I went to the Terry Fox thing. I wanted to see it. I saw none of it.
There have been so many reports of assaults as well. There's an ice cream shop up there. A couple of people attacked a staff member for wearing masks and threw them to the ground. And there are numerous examples of that. The Happy Goat Cafe having a hundred smashed in because I had
This is the
rainbow flag.
I like it.
All of these things. You're talking about BLM. Since when has BLM ever paralyzed a city for 8 or 9 days? Driven people.
Since when?
No.
Since
Listen,
when?
no. You asked me, so I'm going to tell you. Horns at 85 decibels inside the houses in some places. Since when did they ever do anything like that? Since when did they ever drive 18-wheelers into a city and take it over?
Hey, man! How you, brother?
How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Speaking of which, dude, you've got some courage.
Oh, hey!
We
Hey,
are not
something, man.
flagging here, sir.
Hey! This is a free country, and we'll keep it free. Yeah!
God bless. God bless.
Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
You're stuck.
Thank you very much. So with
You're with them. talk to them.
I
I don't want to go down to
All right, gentlemen, you want to talk or no?
What?
Why you're here? And by the way, no antagonism. Just you can express it.
I'm just interested. I'm interested in getting both sides of the story.
As am I. Good. Like it. An answer no one can disagree with. All right. So I think we've seen some. This is. I mean, I'm gonna go do a walk that is going to exemplify the world in which we live. My hands are so cold. This represents the social divide in Canada at the current time. One side, another side. And it's almost like the scene from V for Vendetta. It's a joke. It's because the society.
Can I get you to get up the road, please?
Say it again?
Can I get you to get up the
Yeah,
road?
sure. You know, I'll come back on this side. All right, thank you. It's like you see in the movies. We're living in a caricature society now. And I place the blame squarely on one group of people, and it's not either side of this. It's the politicians and the media. Let's see what's here. OPS helps hate groups get hurt by people of color. Okay, you got a good camera. I like that camera. How you doing, sir?
Okay, how are you?
Good. By the way, what's actually interesting? How you doing?
Good, you?
My fingertips. Oh, dude, yes, I'll take one of those.
Hey guys, do you just mind standing on the sidewalk there?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, that would be
Yeah, there's
the sweet and merciful goodness.
These are preferable.
Here, hold that for 1 second.
Yeah. Sure, do you want to hold this glass for him?
Yeah, I can hold your gloves.
No,
All
it's
right.
So what are you doing?
There's an open here, a little tab.
Yeah.
It says open here on one of the legs.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just
These
shake
are
them.
for the toes, but they are better.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so basically just
Stick them to the inside of the
put
glove.
them on your palm, eh?
It's this is, and I just that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then there's little tabs that you have to pull off.
Where? Oh, the stick figure. I'm just gonna put them like this.
Yeah.
They will warm up as I go.
Yeah.
We have
We've
them
been
right
using
now.
them all day and they work so well.
Okay, that's all I needed.
I just noticed that you were freezing.
Yeah, they're it's getting there. This is interesting. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Oh yeah. How you doing?
I see you found it.
I found it. I found it, and some of them are actually talking to me. It's not a bad thing. Oh, thank you. Could you slip that into my pocket there?
Stay warm, eh?
It's impossible, but I'll stay warm in my soul. What's interesting, by the way, is I haven't seen this much media, like big camera media, anywhere in the protest. But they're here. They're here.
For obvious reasons.
So this is interesting. I would say now there's a lot of people. It says in the occupation, go home bullies. What's interesting is not everybody wants to talk, which is interesting. But there's a lot of people here, so you gotta give them credit. It's just you understand the ideological divide that's going on here, and you can understand the motivation. Can I ask you a question? No, I'm not Well, okay, that's a shame. So one person was willing, but I guess the sign says, "Be angry at how Trudeau treats Indigenous people, not this. Get the vaccine." I wanted to ask a question of irony about that post. They were told not to engage. Like, they're here. Occupiers go home. It's I saw you.
I wanted to find our,
What's that?
our city. People from that are not from Ottawa are welcome here. I don't know.
No, but what's interesting
They
is
have unacceptable views.
they support some protests, just not others. That's it.
That's the double
That's
standard.
that's
The whole
democracy.
The whole thing is double standards, man.
Well, okay, will you? May I discuss with you? I will not. I'm a very nice person. Democracy is. I was see. Well, we could talk from behind the sign. You don't even have to show me your face. How you doing? Democracy is plurality of ideas. Okay, I guess. Just out of curiosity, does she control everything here? People who listen to her. I could have had a discussion with her. I could have had a discussion with the one with the indigenous sign, but looks like it's not going to happen. I got to go away from the person who's spoiling everybody's willingness to talk with me. I want to go over here. Let's see. Honk if you are being sued. Okay, what does that mean? See, no, don't spoil. Some people are allowed to talk. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
It means like stop the noise, go away.
Okay. Do you want to explain?
You want to protest is going to cost you.
See, they're being now. I'm to conclude that person is being sued. Why are you here?
I just want this to end.
What is the this? What's the this that you want to end?
This occupation of our city, which is what it's become.
That's annoying. Okay, well, I'll get a wider angle. But do you understand what they're protesting?
I absolutely understand, and actually, I agree with quite a lot of it. But the way they're going about it is the problem.
Okay, and I've had this dilemma myself as well. In general, when they go on strike and they don't drive the buses, I say I agree with what you're doing, maybe, but you're punishing the people who are the most vulnerable. What do? What's the practical solution to protesting when you feel the way they do and nothing else is getting through?
I understand your frustration, I really do, but taking it out on people in this city is not the answer. There's lots of other ways, I'm sure.
I want to hear one. I want to hear one. No, it's not like. First of all, like I've been here. I've.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's a live stream streamer. He's for the Freedom Convoy. He's just gonna twist what he said. Go to him. Hide your face.
20,000 practice been going.
Hide him. Nobody wants to talk to you. Go to the other side.
Is that true? Would you do that?
I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming right now.
For the convoy.
I'm not with the convoy. I have nothing to do
Then
with the
why are you
convoy.
live streaming us with your fucking phone?
Because I have a YouTube channel where I have nothing to do with the convoy. I'm down here documenting everything in real time. By the way, because I'm sitting in Montreal and I hear that they say that there's people desecrating the statues, this and that, and I came down to see it. And I heard people saying that the horns are honking all night long and people can't sleep. And I had to ask them. I said, if you're doing that, people. I said I was documenting last night, and if they're doing it, people are going to see it and they'll come to their own conclusions. The issue is protests, and it's always the line. They have to be disruptive, but if they're too disruptive, they become abusive. But now, what do you do? Like, this is my question. It's my open question. Like, how do you? Okay, but they're going to say just leave, and then when you go back to your lockdowns, you go back to being told you can't work if you do certain things. How do they reach the people who? The politicians are not even listening to them now. So what do they have to do to make them listen?
Maybe they should go outside the politicians and do what they're doing to us. Because I have no control over what the government does. So why am I doing it?
So that's a fair point. Now the question is this: if they go to the politicians' houses, the neighbors. First of all, I think that's a no-no outright. I mean, if you go to their place of business. But okay, it's nice. I really have there's no ill will on my part. But fist bump. That's it. It's the dilemma. I think some of them are not as middle ground as you. Some of them are.
As long as you're honest about this,
And how does it end? I think that's the bottom line question. Do you think the government should drop the mandates?
Well, I don't know, because I basically think this whole protest is being taken over. It's not what it started out to be. I don't know what it is now, but it's not about mandates anymore.
No, it's not about vaccine mandates. I think it's about all the mandates. But have you gone down to see it?
We've gone down where
to the actual epicenter of the free. Okay. And what did you see, and what was your impression of it?
Totally illegal, totally unnecessary.
I'm going to ask you a serious question. Did you see anything remotely intolerant in it, other than the Trudeau signs?
Oh no, I did.
Okay. Yeah, good enough. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, by the way. I'm not here for. I just want to hear what everyone hears. So you got F the Convoy, which is a good. Here, hold on. Down there, you got the F the Convoy, which is a good play. It's a good play on the pun. Thank you very much.
What's the last living signatory on the Charter of Rights?
Picton. It's not
Pickford?
Pickford.
Do you
Pickford.
remember the Pickford?
Yeah.
You remember the first name?
Ryan Pickford?
Ryan Pickford?
I think so.
And he's suing?
Yeah, he's suing.
He's suing the government?
He's suing the government for the charter violations on the travel restrictions and all the other stuff.
All the other violations.
My God, my hands are shaking. It's so cold. Ryan Pickford. I'm fairly certain that's it. What is slowly? SLOLY.
The police chief.
Oh, it's not a play on the word slowly.
Well,
Slowly.
a lot of people are.
I get it. Do you mind talking? You don't want to talk? Okay, so tell the world. I mean, what's the counter-protest about?
Well,
And by the way, we're live streaming. I'm not trying to embarrass you. Period.
Yeah. What's your YouTube channel?
Viva Fry.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer by trade, and I've turned into.
Okay. What do you think?
What do I think of the counter-protest is for?
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys want the noise to stop, personally.
That's partly that.
Okay, but now the question is this: Do you think that protesting, being compelled to get vaccinated in order to keep your job, is a legitimate cause of protest?
I mean, yeah, you got a right to protest anything in this country.
Where are you in Ottawa, like geographically?
South.
So do you hear the horns from where you are? All right, that's interesting. So what is your practical solution to this? To the people, to their grievances, what do you have to say?
I mean, they're the vast minority in this country, and a lot of us want to keep those vaccine mandates.
So you would personally want to keep the vaccine mandates?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as they're effective.
Okay, well, therein lies one of the bigger questions. But and even if they were effective, someone says, I don't want to do it regardless. His religious reasons, other reasons. Would you accept their reasons for not getting vaccinated?
I mean, yeah, they're welcome to not be vaccinated, but they have to deal with the outfall or the fallout.
What's the fallout? That they can't work, or they can't go to movie theaters or go to restaurants if they choose not to for this particular COVID?
Yeah, because they are risking other people's lives by not being vaccinated.
Well, that's a discussion I don't want to get into. Because it's not clear. If you got vaccinated and it reduces your severity of symptoms, fine. It's not clear. I could agree on the cost argument. If you say, well, if they go to the hospital, we're going to have to pay for it, but that's kind of what universal healthcare means. So, I mean, are you willing to abandon the idea of universal healthcare as well?
We all have a duty to keep ourselves as healthy as we can be.
So, do you think then that the government can charge overweight people or people with STDs for their life decisions that led to them?
When I say duty, I mean you have a personal responsibility. There doesn't need to be financial penalties, but you should keep yourself healthy if you can.
Should you be taxed or fired if you choose not to? Is the question. And better yet, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Like what can you be compelled to do for cost or for health? Anything?
I think these mandates that we have are rather reasonable, especially with the vaccine. It's it's a freely available product, and you can get it for free. So, and they're safe and effective. There's mountains of data out there that shows how safe these vaccines are. You can point to random cases here and there. People talk about the
Myocarditis.
Right? But this is a very rare and acute symptom, and this is something that is very treatable in the hospital as well. And people that get COVID often get worse myocarditis than the vaccine.
I will not. No legal or medical advice, people. You always know my rule, and some of you call me a chicken for it. I know what I'm thinking in my head, but I'm not getting into this discussion because I'm a mere lawyer, not a doctor. All right, man. Well, thank you for engaging, and sincerely, we will agree. Let me get in frame there. We will agree to disagree on a lot of what you said, but at least you had the courage to say it. So thank you very much for that. Have a good night. Good night. Good day. You don't want to talk, eh? Okay, let's hear it. You can see me shaking because it's getting so cold.
Yeah.
So why are you here?
I'm here to end the occupation.
The occupation being the convoy on Parliament Hill.
Honestly, what got me here is the fact that they're setting up permanent structures. So I saw that they were setting up saunas. I saw that they were stockpiling fuel. They were putting together propane tanks and barbecue.
Hallelujah. I'm okay, guys. Don't worry. Oh, I just got here. All right. Are we still here? Here, dude. You want to hold this for 1 second? Here. Son of a beast thing. Okay. We're always at the worst possible time. All right. We're back. Yeah. How's it going? Do you not feel, part of you has to feel that we're living in a movie, and this is like that comedic scene where the people who are for and the people who are against honk at each other from across the street. We're going to look back on this one day. Okay, sir, so before we got so rudely cut off, people don't call my cell phone, it cuts the stream. What we say, why are you here?
I'm here mostly because I think that the protest has morphed from, well, a protest into more of an occupation. What we've been seeing is that they've been setting up more permanent structures. So I saw pictures of like 24 propane tanks, dozens of gas tanks.
You saw that? Where'd you see it? I saw the same pictures on Twitter or on CBC?
Online. I think it was Reddit, actually.
Okay.
They're putting together saunas, huts for barbecues so they can distribute food. And that's changing it from something that's just going to be a protest to something that means that they're going to be staying here for a longer period
until
of time.
It's not me. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I agree until the mandates end. So they'll be here until the mandates end. And so you're basically saying the protest can last, but it's got to be short and sweet and non-disruptive.
So when you say mandate, which one are you specifically referring to?
Well, I think the Convoy wants all of these COVID mandates to come to an end. Mask mandates, vaccine mandates, the idea of a lockdown, the idea of shutting down business, all done.
Most of those actually have been done through the provincial level, haven't they? I'm pretty sure that the first one back in 2020 was done at a federal level, and then the one in 2021, that was done at a provincial level.
True. So
Doug Ford.
So the argument would be protest in front of Doug Ford's provincial office, not in front of Parliament. The retort to that is going to be when Justin Trudeau comes out and says, I got $1 billion for the provinces to implement this vaccine passport, that kind of makes Parliament a little guilty. So would that not be the most appropriate place to protest?
I mean, are you protesting the fact that Trudeau made those resources available, or are you protesting the fact that Doug Ford utilized them?
I'll take both, but we're on the former now. On the former. So yeah, he makes $1 billion of our taxpayer dollars available for the provinces. Does that not make him fair game for a protest on his front lawn? And his front lawn of Parliament, not the front lawn of his house people.
InfoWars isn't news, assholes.
I think.
You're the one scared.
I don't really think he is. I still think that the vaccine. I think that the
I'm going to tell you, Peter.
I
believe you are a reasonable person. Actually. I think I like the fact that you're thinking about it, which is good.
The reason I'm asking is because, honestly, mostly it's because of the hypocrisy that I'm seeing our police force in. Like, if you can imagine a First Nation protest stockpiling fuel, stockpiling propane.
Dude, what do you think? The Orca craze. How long did the Orca standoff last? How long did the blockades of the railway last? I mean, those lasted a long time, and it had mainstream support. It had the people support. So,
but did they ever stockpile fuel and?
Well, first of all, I think the propane, that's for cooking food while they're here.
Yeah.
But did they? I think they might have gone. They might have done light years more, long-term stuff. But okay, look, fair. Put your hands in your pocket. You're gonna get.
No, I got.
Yeah, put them on. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no
Thanks for talking.
Take
Have a good one. So there's is that a government drone up there?
No, it's one of our drones.
Okay, because why it's got a rope going down? What's it hauling?
I believe it's just attaching it so they don't lose it.
Okay. Because I'm a drone enthusiast. If that rope gets stuck in one of the blades, I think it's going to go down.
It just stays up.
Okay.
It doesn't move.
And it's got a camera on it?
I'm not sure.
Cool. Have you ever seen anything like this in your career? All right. Okay. I'm gonna go cross the light. I'm gonna go across the light. Can I cross here? All right. So I think we've done it, people. We've engaged. So I have heard from the other side. What do you have to say for yourself?
What?
What do you want? What are you out here for?
What I'm fit for?
Yes.
For freedom. What do you mean for? What for?
I know what you're for.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
From Poland.
And how many years in Canada?
Oh, many years. Longer than in Poland. Yeah.
And why did you leave Poland?
Oh, because there was no freedom. And some Polish people went back to Poland because they know what's going on now. But they now they are jealous that I stay there because we in the, you know what? January 31st, that was the first day I was proud to be Canadian. First day, January 31st. Now I'm proud Canadian. For last week, this is the 1 week since I'm in Canada, I'm proud to be Canadian.